April 27, 2023. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the NinjaTrader 8 platform. So if you don't want to listen to the whole entire my video here, just go down to the descriptions below and I'll have a timestamp of where I took my trades. NinjaTrader is a new platform for me. I used to use ThinkOrSwim. I still use ThinkOrSwim, but not for futures trading because there are some quirky things in it, and I decided I wanted to try out NinjaTrader. So this is the NinjaTrader platform. I'm going to go through the trades, and I might make a future video comparing both ThinkOrSwim against NinjaTrader when trading the futures, e-futures, specifically the E-minis. I still use ThinkOrSwim for trading my regular stocks and my options, but this is the NinjaTrader. It is on the simulator because I am not completely familiar with how everything works yet. And I haven't quite gotten used to it yet. So I'm going to go in through the trades. Today I took a total of 6 trades. I only got, I think, 3 trades green and 3 trades red. There were some not glitchy things, just some things I wasn't used to, but I'm sure I'll get used to it when I was working with the NinjaTrader platform. But overall, I am pretty happy with some of the tools and some of the ways that trades are executed, as well as the ease of adjusting trades. There are some things I do like better in ThinkOrSwim, but that will be for another video. So let's get into the trades today. This is kind of the overall way the charts looked. It looked like it was this gigantic channel. Let's just kind of zoom out a little bit. It's kind of pretty much a big uptrend, a big rally. It looked like it made 2 legs, 1 leg up, consolidated, then a second leg up. You can see the trades that I took. It's easier to see. I actually boxed the trades that I took as well as the setup that I saw, and then these blue and red arrows. Blue is where I entered and red is where I exited. And so we'll go into them. Oops, I didn't expect to do that. I'm going to try to hurry because I know my videos tend to be long and I ramble. So this gray area is the pre-market. I don't trade the pre-market. This is the end of the trading day, which was like 4 o'clock or 1 o'clock the day before, and then it just started trading. So this is how the trend channel looked today. I'm not used to this platform yet, so I'm going to be a little bit clunky. Prices opened. I did see this channel going up. I drew it previously, then I think I deleted it by accident or actually moved it, but there was a channel here. But there's no there's a channel here, but I'm not awake to trade this. And this is where the market opens at 6:30 Pacific Standard. It starts going into this range. I do see a setup here. It's a triple test because you have 1, 2, 3. There's also a second entry long because I saw a new high here. First entry long, pulls back, a second entry long. This is actually a pretty decent signal bar, and it did close above the EMA. This is one of the first couple of days I'm trying NinjaTrader, so I didn't have my order ready to take it. But this is a pretty good entry, I think, and there's enough room back to the highs, even if the high was here or the high was here. Then prices continue moving up. You could say this is a new low, first entry short, second entry short right here, once it breaks below this red candle, and then it's considered a failure here. However, this is already at the top of the trading range, so I didn't like that. There's a new high here, first entry long, second entry long. I saw the second entry long, but I wanted another confirmation. So this is kind of like technically, a third confirmation of this trend channel, because I actually drew this early on and then it confirmed here. It might have been some wiggling around, but it was pretty good. I saw it, but I didn't like the way this is the signal bar. It wasn't very good. The trigger bar is this big green one here, which is nice, except it closed right at the EMA, and I had 2 conflicting ideas. Okay, so this is the trading range, and then there's also the trend channel going up. So this, if you want to enter here, I thought it would have been risky. So at the time, you only see this. And I thought, okay, well, it could make its way all the way back here, but I wanted to be a little more conservative, and I wanted for a higher low confirmation. So the higher low shows up right here. And this would have been a pretty decent trade, except I didn't take it just because, well, I just wasn't ready. But it did bounce off this shortened trend channel. It looks pretty safe to have taken in hindsight. Then prices continue moving up. I see a new high, first entry long. I see this second entry long potentially forming. And what I actually did was I jumped the gun. So this is first entry long, second entry long. It breaks here. Actually, this is not the one that I jumped the gun. I'll show the trade that I did jump the gun. This is my first trade. I like that this signal bar kind of double topped here, came down, it's bounced off the top of this trading range. And when this one formed, let's see if I can, oops, apologize. Well, I'll just keep scrolling like I am. The entry is actually right here. I waited for this candle to close because I didn't like the signal bar. The trigger bar looked okay, and I waited for this candle to close, and it just kind of made a double top, so I was unsure. And then finally, when this one formed, I put my entry right here, and I was able to get a scalp out of it. So it was a green trade, but I think the trade would have been better at the top of this red candle. Would have been safer to take it right here. The price continued to move. It was in this trading range. Comes up, goes back down. It's fitting into this nice channel going down. I don't see any good clean entries. It's getting close to the bottom of this channel again for bounce. And here I take, this is the one that I jumped the gun on. This is a new high, first entry long, comes down, and I see this candle form, and I'm thinking there's two clean legs down, one leg down, second leg down. And at the time, I was too eager, which was not good, because I saw this and I decided that this is going to form a second entry long. So I actually jumped in on this trade right here. You can see the little blue arrow right here. And I entered here expecting it to move up. So I was anticipating an engulfing candle and a move back into this larger channel. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. It stopped me out. Now, in hindsight, I know now I should have waited. I was just too eager to take a trade because there's no confirmation of anything. Prices continue moving down. And here I see the official second entry long. This is a new high. First entry long comes down. You don't have another break higher till you get to here. And I saw this candle and I thought this is a pretty decent candle. So, well, it's not, in hindsight, it's not really that good a candle. It's kind of a hammer, right? So, or it's like a hammer, but it's kind of far from the EMA. So I thought there's enough room. It's like I'm picking the bottom, which you should never really do. And I did. So I entered one tick above, expecting to at least get a scalp out of it. And it doesn't really move all the way up. It chops around, makes me nervous. It looks like it's going to give me out. And it stops actually one tick below my exit. And then it flashes down and takes me out because my exit was right here. As you can see, this little red arrow right here, one tick below this double bottom. That was unfortunate, but in hindsight, it wasn't the best or the cleanest setup. So that ends up being my second red trade, third trade of the day. Prices continue moving, chops, and now it goes up. It goes into this trading channel, and here I saw this as a new low, first entry short, moves up. I saw this as a second entry short. So I took my trade actually right here. It's a little bit far from where the actual second entry formed. And this is actually, in hindsight, not a good trade. So this is my fourth trade. The reason being is it's the first break of this shortened trend channel. Now, since it's the first break, you would expect that it's going to test the top again, test the highs. Plus, it just broke out of this big bullish trend up. So to take a short is counter trend, which isn't good, and considering the bullish move up already. So needless to say, I get stopped out. So I enter here, I short here, and then I had my cover here, one tick above. So that's my fourth trade of the day and third red trade. So I already lost 3 in a row. So still trying to get a hang of this platform as well as dial in my strategy. I did see a new high, first entry long, comes down, breaks above this guy, and it's second entry long. And I saw this, I didn't take it though. It's a pretty good signal bar, close above the EMA. This is a worthwhile trade to have taken. At the time, I didn't see this as a trading range yet. And then I do see a failed second entry short here because I see a new low here, first entry short, second entry short, and this second entry short forms right when it breaks below this red candle and it fails because it closes here. So technically it hasn't failed yet, but when it opens here, I liked what I saw. So I entered one tick pretty much above this guy. It is a little aggressive because the top of the trading range, which I wasn't sure existed yet, but I just knew this is the localized high, it's getting pretty close. So this is certainly an aggressive trade. Turns out to work pretty well, but I should try to avoid these trades because most likely they won't work next time because it wasn't the cleanest setup. It works. I was able to recover some of the losses, moves up, goes into this choppy trading range. I don't see any particularly good setups because you could say this is a new high. This makes a double top here. First entry long, second entry long, but this is a doji, very neutral, closed right at the EMA. Also, this ascending channel doesn't exist yet. I do draw it after I see this touch because originally I was working off of this thing, and then it breaks out and it just kind of chops sideways. So it's like a spike and in a trading range. And now it looks like it is a channel here. But I do see a failed second entry short here because it's considered a new low. First entry short, second entry short. It almost touches the EMA, but I just didn't like how it looked. It felt a little too congested to try to take this trade. Then I saw a new high here. First entry long, second entry long. Now this second entry long is there. However, it almost touched the EMA just like this one. There is potentially a trade here, but I didn't really like it just because it's too doji-ish. Look at these previous candles are doji. So it's telling me that the struggle here is very, very confusing. Why it's confusing is because this doji closed right at the lower half of the candle. This one closed also at the lower half, but it did spike up. And this one closed at the upper half. So it looks like there's a struggle here. It does, you could say there's a second key entry point because if it touches the EMA just barely, you could say it does touch. And then the second entry point, second key entry would be this ascending trend channel. But I saw it. Wasn't sure what I was looking at. I didn't trust it, so I left it alone. Then prices continue moving up. It falls into this channel. So it's in this trading range channel right now. Then it goes in this trading range. I didn't see any good setups that I like. Continues moving up, and now it touches the top of this because originally I actually had this a little bit lower right here, and then I saw this as an overshoot, and then I saw another overshoot, then I decided to draw it higher. And then when I saw these several candles touching, that's when I kind of dragged it to the top. Prices continue moving. It's clearly a very bullish day now. Without a doubt, it's super bullish. So let me just go in right here. One thing I noticed with NinjaTrader, if you accidentally move any of your objects, as soon as you let go, it stays there. If you do that in ThinkOrSwim, you hit Control Z, it'll put it right back, kind of like an undo. Unfortunately, NinjaTrader, as far as I know, doesn't have a Control Z undo function. And if it does, I'll probably discover it later. But unfortunately, it didn't have it. It's like accidentally moved some of my drawing objects throughout the day and I have to carefully place it back. So Control Z would have been nice to just drop it back through. So anyways, there's a new high, first entry long, second entry long. This is a very bad signal bar, and it is close to the EMA, so it'd be a risk. It is off the midline, so I wasn't ready to take that trade. It's also a first entry short, second entry short, failure. But the failure doesn't occur yet because here's a second entry short. Then it fails on this candle. And at this candle, you're already pretty close to the localized high. So I left it alone. Prices continue moving. And I do see this trade. So I saw two legs down, one leg down, and the second leg down, and it was also pretty close to this channel. So actually, I consider this a second entry long. Copy, paste, pull it up to here. So this is my trade that I took, my last trade. It was kind of like a second entry long visual, first entry long. Let me just zoom in. So it's like two legs down, one leg down, pulls up, and a second leg down. and it kind of touches a third time. So I counted it as a triple test. I think I actually had it a little bit higher, right about there. And so I decided I was going to take this trade because I wasn't too concerned about the EMA being there because it's pretty much flat and it's supported before, and now it didn't support here, but it is pretty flat. So I took this trade. It is a little bit late in the day, and I kept my stop actually one tick below this swing right here. If I kept it one tick below this one here, I still would have been safe. I would have had to sweat it out right here. And then I was able to get 2 points off of this trade, and I was able to exit right here. I purposely put it right here and not way above because I knew there's probably some resistance above this candle. So I didn't want to push it. I just kept it one tick below this green candle here. Then prices just continue chopping sideways and into the close. So that's how I saw the charts today. Let's see. Yes, so it was a little clunky, a little bit hard for me to kind of get used to, but I got the rhythm and feel of trading on NinjaTrader. Probably keep doing that from now on. Just seems to be a little more responsive. Some of the tools are better than ThinkOrSwim. So hopefully that was helpful.